Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into your weekly dose of fantasy football, giving you guys more advice on who to draft. A lot of people's drafts are coming up. A lot of mock drafts going on right now. My personal fantasy football league that I'm running, our draft is coming up on September 1st, guys. If you are in that league, some of my fans are in that league. September 1st, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. It's going to be a big thing. 12-team league, full PPR, completely standard scoring. Get ready for that. It's going to be huge. But guys, let's get into this. This is pick number 11 in a 12-team PPR. He went Nick Chubb late first round. I immediately get turned off when I see Antonio Gibson. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing it. I don't know how many times I have to tell people, please do not draft Antonio Gibson. This guy picked Antonio Gibson 14th overall, and then he picked Amari Cooper on top of that. No, you're picking Amari Cooper. Did he pick Amari Cooper over CeeDee Lamb? Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is not a good team. You've got Juju in the flex. Cooper Kupp's a decent pick. I do think Cooper Kupp will be slightly better than Robert Woods this year, but you're really splitting hairs with those two receivers. I think Stafford's going to spread it around. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, similar receivers. Maybe Cooper Kupp a little more possession-based. But those two guys should get an even, amount of work. Lamar Jackson, I would never draft a quarterback this early. Guys, when it comes to the QB strategy, I always say take quarterbacks later. Build your team. Build depth at the important positions, at the running back position, at the wide receiver position. Gives you more overall roster flexibility. And I've actually got a big strategy I've been thinking about when it comes to the quarterbacks. If you're like me, you don't like taking the quarterbacks early, I say take Jalen Hurts. And you don't even have to take Jalen Hurts late. Take someone like Jalen Hurts, maybe someone like Matt Stafford. You could pick him in the 8th or 9th round, and then put Trey Lance on your bench, because Trey Lance and his rushing ability, guys, it's crazy. Keep Trey Lance on your bench. He will be starting very soon, maybe even week 1. The hype around him is crazy. Apparently, he's way outperforming Garoppolo. His running ability is going to be amazing. Trey Lance, that's a good offense. They've got Kittle. They've got two really good young receivers, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. If you're doing the QB late strategy, which is what everybody should be doing, you're not looking to spend a 5th or 6th round pick on a quarterback when you could get an asset like a running back or maybe a number 2 wide receiver. Gives you more roster flexibility in that flex spot, in that wide receiver 2 spot. You're always going to want to build that roster flexibility instead of taking the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks go later, guys. The strategy, even if you don't want to take Jalen Hurts, take someone like Matt Stafford, stash Trey Lance on your bench. I'm telling you, it's the new strategy. This team is a disaster. The bench, I don't like Tyler Boyd either. Okay, if you're drafting someone from the Bengals, a receiver from the Bengals, it better be Jamar Chase. I'm sick of it with hearing about T. Higgins. Guys, T. Higgins is a very nice number 2 receiver. Jamar Chase, I guarantee everybody, as long as they're both healthy for 16 games, they're both healthy, whatever, Jamar Chase is going to significantly outscore T. Higgins. Jamar Chase, a lot of people don't remember this because Jamar Chase took a year off due to COVID. Jamar Chase was better than Justin Jefferson when he was with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow won the Heisman back in 2019. Jamar Chase, I've been hearing things that he's struggling in camp. Give me a break, guys. That's ridiculous. Moving on, head-to-head, which team is better? Looking at these two teams, and really, I don't like either of the teams. I see Team 1 and Team 2. Maybe you take Dak Prescott in the 7th or 8th round. I'm not high on Aaron Jones. I do like Chris Carson. Devontae Adams, that's a good pick. Julio Jones, I'm out on. Julio's getting older. He's going to have to share all those targets now with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown very likely is going to out-target Julio. So really don't love the Julio pick if you're picking him in round 4. Evan Ingram is a wild card. T. Higgins as a flex, is that a 12-team? Okay, that's a 12-team. That's decent if T. Higgins is your flex. I know I badmouthed him, but I'm hearing these people say T. Higgins is going to be better than Jamar Chase. I'm going to lose my mind. Damian Williams on the okay, Damian Williams, not a bad bench spot. Belichick likes to really rotate those running backs. They have that rookie Stevenson out of Oklahoma. That's an interesting-looking player. So we'll see what Antonio Gibson can do. Team 2, I would never draft Kyler Murray. He's going too high. McCaffrey, number 1 overall. I'm sick of hearing about Antonio Gibson. I'm sick of it. Never draft Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett will give you 30 points 1 week and then combine to give you 30 points the next 4 weeks. Don't draft him. Jerry Jeudy, I love Jerry Jeudy, the player. I don't love his current situation being with maybe Drew Lock. I know Drew Lock looked good in his preseason game, whatever. I'm not buying it. And then you've got Teddy Bridgewater. It's not a good situation for Jerry Jeudy. Wait for the Jerry Jeudy breakout to happen next year when they get Aaron Rodgers. Because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to the Broncos. Darren Waller, beast. Robbie Anderson, that's a weak flex. I probably would take team 2. Well, no, I would probably take team 1, honestly. Those are just not good teams. Running backs that you should handcuff. Personally, I don't like handcuffing running backs. It's kind of like a reverse psychology. I don't even want to think of my star running back getting injured, but these people are obsessed with handcuffing running backs. I see guys taking Tony Pollard in round 9 because they want to handcuff Zeke. It's like, that's a bit early to take a handcuff running back. But if I were to gauge on which running back handcuff to take, I would say A.J. Dillon. I really like A.J. Dillon. He's very young. The Packers invested, I believe, a second-round pick into him. That's the guy I would be looking. Even if you don't have Aaron Jones, I would still take A.J. Dillon way towards the back end of the, it says his ADP is round 8. A.J. Dillon. Is A.J. Dillon going in round 8s? I haven't done many mocks recently. That's pretty crazy. Tony Pollard, again, if you have Zeke, you might want to take Tony Pollard, although Tony Pollard really didn't do much. Everyone thinks Tony Pollard's this revolutionary player. He had like one good week when Zeke was out. Like one good week. Devontae Booker, guys, I would never draft Devontae Booker. I just don't think he's good. So he might be if Saquon gets injured, he might be the first guy up, but I just don't think Devontae Booker's really all that good. This is another mock draft. So this is the number 1 overall position. They take McCaffrey. Oh, this is the team that I really did like. So they go McCaffrey, then they get the end of round 2, start of round 3. They go piggybacking wide receivers with McLaurin and A.J. Brown. I love that. Then they go Kyle Pitts. I like that. And DJ Moore. This is a really nice team. Michael Carter. See, it's a good team, but that's a rough RB2. If you're starting Mike, how does that happen? That's the problem with taking a tight end early, you're taking 2 receivers early. That's why I always preach to people in this current market, you want to load up on running backs. It's like you need 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds, or at least 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds, because stuff like this can happen where I really like this dude's team, but you're starting Michael Carter week 1. Are we confident Michael Carter is going to get 10 touches week 1? That's that's tough, but then you don't have the roster flexibility because your flex is also a receiver. It's not like you have really a lot there. I would have drafted someone like Trey Sherman maybe in the 8th or 9th round to give you more flexibility. Looks like they've got Jamal Williams. Yeah, it's one of those tough teams where you're drafting well, but you're on round 6 and you're like, oh my goodness, I need an RB2. This is another mock. I believe this is the 6th pick. Is that what it is? Yes, they got Saquon 6 overall. I think that's decent value as long as he stays healthy, obviously. J.K. Dobbins, I love the running back stack. That's a really good running backs, really good wide receivers. Calvin Ridley and DJ Moore. Hawkinson, I like. Juju, little bit of a weak flex. Not bad. Brady's the quarterback. Okay. And then the bench, David Johnson. I've been seeing a lot of people drafting David Johnson. I just think David Johnson, unfortunately, is washed. He had that 1 year in Arizona where he had about 5,000 touches, and it basically ruined his career. And that's why I'm a little bit wary on Derrick Henry. Everyone says Derrick Henry's a lock for a big year. He very well might have a big year again, but that dude has gotten he's been run into the ground by Tennessee. And you look at someone like David Johnson and how quickly these running backs fall off when they get crazy, absurd workloads. That's why I'm a little bit concerned about Derrick Henry. I know everyone says he's a safe play. They gave him a big contract, so they're going to give him a lot of carries. I understand that, but I don't know. Antonio Brown, I think a lot of people like Antonio Brown going in the 8th or 9th round. That's good value there. Gus Edwards, I don't love it. I mean, unless JK gets hurt. Paris Campbell, that's a sneaky good play. McKissick, on passing downs, you can see it if you're playing full point PPR. Tanyan and Hawkinson. That's a really good team. To me, that's a loaded team. I mean, you've got a good running back duo. You've got a superstar receiver paired with another really good receiver, and you've got a stud tight end. The flex is a little weak. I'm not personally a big fan of Juju. I'm not a big fan of any of those Steelers receivers because I think the ball is going to get spread around, and I think they're going to run the ball a lot more this year. You've got Deontay Johnson there. You've got Chase Claypool. You've got, how about James Washington, who demanded a trade? I think he's staying with the Steelers. But you've got a lot of guys there. That's a lot of mouths to feed for a team that probably wants to get back to running the ball. They invested a first-round pick in Najee Harris. So, yeah, I would stay away from all Steelers receivers just due to them probably not getting good workload. Safe or risky early round picks. I completely disagree with this. I would 100% put, number one, Antonio Gibson needs to be a risk. Joe Mixon needs to be a risk. I would say Clyde Edwards-Helaire, due to the Andy Reid not wanting to run the ball inside the 5-yard line, I would say he's a risk. I would say DK Metcalf is 100% safe. I draft DK Metcalf all the time in my mock drafts. Patrick Mahomes should not be picked. No quarterback should be picked in the first 4 rounds. So I don't even know why he's on this list. And then A.J. Brown, what, because Julio's there and he's going to steal his targets? No, I still like A.J. Brown a lot, guys. I like DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown. Eckler is safe. Diggs is safe, but he's going really a little bit too high for my liking. This is a really interesting battle. Who would you draft first? Darren Waller versus George Kittle. Look at their fantasy points per game over the last 2 years. Look at how close that is. 15.6 versus 15.8. Now the total points and total touchdowns, Waller is going to have the advantage because Kittle's dealt with injuries. But I was just thinking about this, and if it was you have to pick one of these guys, Waller or Kittle, I would say I'd probably have to go with Waller slightly, but Kittle honestly is the better value play because if I'm getting Kittle 10 picks later than where I'm getting Waller, I think Kittle's the way better value because they're so close in terms, I would just say Waller, he's got Derek Carr, Kittle maybe a little bit more unknown if Trey Lance gets inserted to the lineup, although rookie QBs tend to love tight ends. They're stable targets. They're big targets. They normally get a lot of, they're easy guys to look for. But I would say I would probably, if it's just Waller versus Kittle, I would take Waller. But Kittle, if you can get him late 3rd round, early 4th, that's great value for an absolute elite tight end. You just have to be a little cautious what happens with Trey Lance. These are some sleepers. Love the Trey Lance. Rashard Penny, man, what happened to him? He was a first-round pick, late first-round pick out of San Diego State, yeah. Oh, my goodness, I love it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it's a picture of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Guys, if you're in a 12-team or a 14-team league, really this doesn't apply to 10-team leagues because they're not deep enough bench-wise, but if you're in a 12 or a 14-team league, use your last pick, one of your last picks, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a beast. He's a former 5-star out of high school. He went to USC, played pretty well the past few years. Possession receiver. I'm going to tell you, the Lions are going to be losing a lot of games. They're going to be throwing the football a lot. St. Brown, especially second half of the season. He's just a rookie. He was a late round draft pick. Second half of the season, Amon-Ra St. Brown, huge value. Huge value. Full PPR. I love it. Love him. 2021 wide receiver busts. This was a really well done list by these 3 white dudes. I completely agree, Mike Evans. I'm not drafting him at all. I am not drafting Amari Cooper at all. I am not drafting Michael Thomas at all, unless he's there in round 8. I am not drafting Julio Jones at all. I am not drafting Kenny Galladay at all. The one I probably wouldn't agree with is Thielen. Odell's definitely a risk. I could see why you would say he's going to be a bust. But Odell has some sneaky good wide receiver 1 upside if you're getting him in the 5th round. But I understand why people are saying he's a bust. He's older. He's coming back from a major injury. We'll have to see there. But yeah, guys, those receivers, I would not recommend drafting Julio, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper. Take CeeDee Lamb over Amari Cooper if you want a Cowboys receiver. Kenny Galladay, stay far away from Kenny Galladay. My Lord, please stay far away from Kenny Galladay. 2021 running back busts. Josh Jacobs, not sure if I agree on that. I love Travis Etienne. I think Travis Etienne is a Alvin Kamara clone. I am picking up Travis Etienne in as many leagues as possible. Miles Sanders is a bust. I could see it. He's definitely a risk. Saying Saquon's going to be a bust, are you just banking on an injury? Because if Saquon doesn't get injured, he's going to be a top 5 running back. So I guess you're banking on injury. Javonte Williams is a risk, but I love Javonte Williams, but he is a risk in round 6. Chase Edmonds, he's kind of going later in drafts. I wouldn't really consider him a bust. Kareem Hunt's not even the starting running back on his team. I don't know why people are drafting Kareem Hunt so early. He's not the starting running back, guys. He's not going to get a ton of touches. Don't draft him and think he's going to be your flex. Nick Chubb is the starting running back on that team. There's better ways to spend that spot. Drafting from the 12th spot, they go Nick Chubb, Tyreek Hill. Then they go Miles Sanders, a little bit of a risk there. Amari, I don't like this team. Oh my goodness. Why are you picking Kareem Hunt in the 5th round? Okay, it's the last pick of the fifth round. And then he says Chase Claypool is his favorite pick. What a horrific team that is. Nothing against him. I like the Jalen Hurts pick late. Marvin Jones, there's way too many mouths to feed in Jacksonville. I'm staying away from the Jacksonville receiving core. Chark, Laviscus, and Marvin Jones, stay away from that. Gio Bernard's a wasted pick. I don't see him doing much. But Kareem Hunt, you shouldn't be picking Kareem Hunt that high. You shouldn't be taking Amari Cooper. I like the first 2 picks. Chubb is a solid. Got a very high floor. He's going to produce every week as long as he's healthy. Tyreek Hill, obviously, with Mahomes, we know how good he is. Drafting from the 5th spot, you go Zeke and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I love going back-to-back running backs. Then you go DK Metcalf and DJ Moore. Love that. Mike Davis, okay, he can be your flex. That's not bad. Courtland Sutton, high upside. Brandon Cooks, like the value there. Trey Sermon, love it. Tony Pollard, it's a little bit high to be drafting a handcuff, right? In round 9. Tannehill, nice. I like Tyler Higbee. I like this team a lot. There's just a few things, maybe you're drafting Tony Pollard a little bit too high, but take Ryan Tannehill. Quarterbacks late. You stack the running backs round 1, round 2. You go 2 receivers. Your flex is Mike Davis, but you've got that, you've got that flexibility. You've got a guy like Trey Sermon, who could easily be the starter by week 3 or week 4 in San Francisco. You've got Brandon Cooks, who's going to be a target hog in Houston. That's an asset for your team. Again, Tony Pollard, I don't know why you're drafting a handcuff in round 9. How about John Brown? I like this team a lot. Oh my goodness. I like Tyler Higbee. I like John Brown. This is Tyler Higbee. If you need a tight end late, Tyler Higbee is a beast, man. That dude's he's like Gronk. He's built like Gronk was when he was in his prime. Tyler Higbee. I remember when he had 3 touchdowns in one game and then didn't do anything, but I love Tyler Higbee personally. This is just a little blast from the past. I thought this was a sweet thing. Fantasy football, best performances ever. Jerry Rice, dude. There's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill had that, all those yards in the first half of that game against Tampa Bay. Last year during the regular season, I think he had 200 yards in the first quarter. That was crazy. But Jerry Rice, 52 fantasy points in a single game. T. Higgins will score more fantasy points than Jamar Chase. Oh my goodness, man. I see these tweets. I have to screenshot them. Where are these people getting this from? I have no clue. It's hilarious. Who would you rather have on your fantasy team in 2021? Antonio Gibson or David Montgomery? How about neither? I think the craziest thing about Antonio Gibson is he played what was essentially a brand new position for him as a rookie and did it against the highest level of competition. We really could have seen his floor last year. Ugh. I can't do it. Guys, I can't do it I'm stressing. Antonio Gibson is this year's Kenyon Drake. Please draft DeAndre Swift in front of him. Draft Miles Sanders. Draft anyone. Antonio Gibson is going to be an all-time fantasy bust, ladies and gentlemen. Please, they have a pass-catching back. It's not going to work out with Antonio Gibson. I'm telling you. Please do not draft Antonio Gibson. I see tweets like this. I get scared. I get scared for people. I'm not understanding this. No. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for your weekly dose of fantasy football. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description, guys. I am, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.